Hi everyone, I am doing a review of the Aceple or Aceple, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, laser spotlight. I just received this today and I am out in my garage by design because here in the Midwest it's actually quite cold and there's a lot of disclosures about how it may or may not work in ambient temperatures. I've already opened it up. And this is what the box looks like. The box isn't incredibly impressive. It doesn't even have the name of what it is, except for this little thing back here. But this is the red and green. So this is what it looks like. It's got really good weight to it. It's metal construction. It's very, very nice. Let me see if we can see the waterproofing. They've used some silicone to ensure that no water seeps into the electrical outlet where the cord is coming in. I've already gone ahead and assembled the yardstake for it. It's a very simple screw right here. The yardstake is metal. It's lightweight. It feels like aluminum, but it's pretty good. So this is what it looks like. I have relatively small hands, so you can kind of get a gist of it. This one is the red and green, and you've got the tilting mechanism right here where it's a simple Phillips, where I went ahead and tightened them a little bit because it's got a lot of weight to it. I was a little concerned that it would not hold the position well. So I tightened the Phillips screws to make sure that it would hold exactly where I wanted it to. Now I'm going to give you a couple different views here in my garage. See, it's dark outside. So we'll do the garage and then we'll do the true test. I have a bare tree outside with no leaves. It's just a little tree, and then we'll put it up against the house. I've seen the Sparkle Magic laser spotlights, and those ones are actually really super cool, which is what got me interested in this one. The Sparkle Magic are significantly more expensive than this one. Boasts the same all metal housing, and I've also seen that stuff that they sell at, like, say, a Home Depot or a Lowe's or any home improvement store, where they pointed against the house. It's at a star shower or something like that, and that was less than preferred. If you have any kind of ambient lighting around, then it looks awful. So I purposely put my house lights on to give some sort of ambient lighting to see how it works out. So we'll start with those types of scenarios. Now, I wanted to negate a little bit of the controversy over this user manual. There's been some precious few reviews complaining that the user manual is not very thorough. Now, you know, I didn't even open this until after I put it together. It's not really necessary. It comes with a remote. It also comes with this USB type of portable system right here. Now, what you need to understand is this little battery that it's talking about here is it wants like a 6-volt or a 9-volt DC battery that you can plug the USB into. Now, typically you can find a DC 5-volt battery out there, and it gives a little warning that with the DC 5 battery, if it's a little chilly outside or anything like that, that you might have some issues with it because it wants to draw more power because it needs the heat to light up the lights. Now, the battery is not included, and it comes with the actual accessory here where you can just simply screw this part in, and it gives a nice little housing that you see. It's threaded. It works out well. A lot of people were saying that the instructions weren't very good. Let me see if I can get a good angle on this. Now, you know, I'm no Mr. Fix-It here, but you can pretty much see that it's kind of obvious with the flat ends where you put it in, although it's marked positive and negative on where you're supposed to put it in. With the regular plug outlet, you just fit it in accordingly, positive to negative, but with the travel one, it's the opposite. So, needless to say, you just need to look. It's pretty obvious where you get the flat end, and you fit it in, and it fits in perfectly. And then you just plug the USB into whatever, 6 volt, 5 volt, 12 volt battery that you have, and it makes it portable according to the instructions. Now, I haven't tried that part out, but I can't imagine that it's any more complicated than assembling this thing the way it came. Now, looking at the packaging, it's actually quite well packaged, thank goodness, because I got this from Amazon, and you can see the box is pretty dinged up. So, it arrived safely, thank goodness. So, the packaging is pretty sound. There's some nice foam in there, and it's a good, sturdy, heavy metal. Actually, I already dropped it twice, and it seems to be perfectly fine. So let's start with the inside, the garage, so you can get the whole spectrum that everybody wants to show on, ooh, how great it is. But the true test is, how does it do outside? Okay, so here we are in my garage, and I'm just shining it on my ceiling. You can see how nice it's spread apart. I can do it on my garage door. Very, very, very bright. Got a good pattern. It doesn't have that check mark pattern that a lot of them have. So it's a really, really good pattern. It seems to be dispersed very well and very, very bright. So what we want to see is, how does this little puppy do? Right now it's 48 degrees outside and dropping. So let's see how it really looks on a bare, teeny tiny newborn tree and up against my house, to get a real perspective of how this thing works and how widespread the span is. Okay, so now we're outside. You can see it's dark out, but we have house lights, ambient lighting on. So let's see how it does on a little tree. Okay, plug it in. Very simple to plug in. Got it angled right up at a tree so you can see just, oh, look, there it is. So that's what it does on a tree. Now you can't see where the beam is coming from, unlike an LED laser light. Now this is a baby tree and there's not many branches and there are no leaves on it whatsoever. Now it's got the remote where you can turn the green off, you can turn the red off, and you can make it flash. Now the flashing is going to make it flash like regular Christmas lights. It's not going to make it twinkle like it's blowing in the wind. That is what the wind is for. So, one little disclosure here. I've got this pointing on the tree on this side, but if you come on the other side, you can see it comes through a little bit, but if you want it to look impressive from a street where people can see it from different angles, you're going to need more than one of these. You can see it down there. But that's from the other side. Still looks cool, better than what the video is showing, but I would want to put one on either side of these to get the same effect on both sides of the tree. Now let's see what it looks like on the house with the lights on and the lights off. So now I left my house lights on purpose just to give the city effect for people that don't have a very dark area, so they can understand exactly what this does. It actually outshines the lights on my house, which are LED downspout lights in canisters, and they're very, very bright, but this actually outshines them, and it has, let me turn this a little bit, quite a huge span to it. It can cover, and I've got a pretty big house, it can cover most of my house. I would recommend for a house this size, 2 of them would light up the whole thing beautifully. Now let's see what it looks like with the lights off. Okay, so now I've turned off the house lights. You can see the moon is very, very bright still. We do have a little bit of cloud cover, but it does more than what the video is actually showing. I turned off my camera lights on purpose but you can see it all the way over to the garage here. It actually looks quite amazing, and actually I have my neighbor behind me asking me where I got this from because they thought it was cool. I'm just doing a trial. It's almost Halloween, definitely not Christmas time, but the nice part is, P, hold it up high. No, up high. The nice part is,
So you just want to do that over again? It's too much.
there is no beam going to the house. Very, very cool. On a 4 to 5 star rating, I think I would definitely have to give this 4.5 stars. I would assume, based on durability, that it's very durable. It's all metal. It's very cool looking. The range on it is awesome. It's big. The video doesn't do it justice. It's cold outside, and it says that it might have, you know, some warm-up time. I plugged it in. It just fired right up. It's very cool. I definitely recommend this. There's a couple of things that I might suggest changing on it just for purposes of people that live in neighborhoods where people might want to steal your stuff. Okay, so we're back in the garage. Now, what I would suggest, something on this durable metal housing, is they have a keyhole somewhere, even if it's like integrated in the housing, that you could do the laptop lock to it. So for people in areas where you're afraid, I mean, it's a good investment, right? These are anywhere from $80 to $100. If you don't want it stolen, I want to find a way to integrate some sort of a laptop lock to it that you can wrap around a tree so somebody doesn't go walking off with your super cool light. Another thing I might recommend is a little improvement on the packaging. It's not bad, but it's definitely not impressive. It doesn't tell you, I mean, it just says garden light on it, right? It's not really a garden light. It's a super cool LED spotlight. And you know what? I think that they went a little short on the packaging, and they really need to give it the credit that it is and boast their name for what it is, rather than just putting it on the sticker in the back. Because you know what? It seems to be a rather small company that's working on just these alone, and they've done a really good job. Just a little better marketing and a little better packaging and some way to secure this with some sort of a laptop lock so that it doesn't get stolen from your front yard. I'm not so worried about it where I'm at, but I know there's a lot of people that would be. So that's my review. I give this 4.5 to 5 stars. Very, very impressive. Very, very durable. It's not huge. It's great. It's got some good weight to it, and I think that this will definitely hold up. Just before I go, I want to show you the remote. And the remote is actually pretty cool, and a lot of people say they don't understand it. There's no instructions. Well, you know what? It's pretty self-explanatory.